Welcome, welcome. Well, come on in. My name is Gurutej, for those of you that don't know me, and I love teaching. Satnam. So, I'm keeping these classes on purpose because we talk about seeing. This is about fear, okay? Your fear and how we can get over our fears, right? So one of the things is like knowing that we can take off the cataracts of our eyes and see things differently. So we had a really interesting experience this morning. We went to take a hike. I cannot take them off. In this canyon in Los Angeles called Franklin Canyon. And we're coming up. It's a very narrow road as you go into it. And here's this coyote just walking down the road. Usually when they see you, they go off to the side. This one did not. It just kept right in front of us as we were going. And then another car even came the opposite way, and it just kind of went off to the side, but it didn't go up the hill or down the hill either. It just stayed on the road. So we were passing these people who were walking towards our car on the road, and I said, to my husband, like, stop. I want to warn them about the coyote. And I rolled down the window and I said, just so you know, there's kind of a coyote just walking down the road. He probably won't hurt you at all, but just so that you're warned. The man went ballistic. He was like, no, can we get in your car? Now you have to remember that other places have not been locked down. We've been pretty locked down. Like, you don't just let strangers in your car. We could see he was really freaked. So I said, sure. And my husband said, absolutely, get in the car. So he opened the car door, and here comes the coyote, right? Just ready to, he's like freaking. I mean, he's crying and, just carrying on. Big guy, big, strong guy. And the woman with him was, not perturbed at all. And she's trying to calm him down and say, it's going to be okay. He's not going to hurt us, And just before he got to the, wet your pants stage, I think, the coyote just went down the hill. And she said he wanted me to come with him on this hike in case there was a coyote. He's deathly afraid of coyotes. And I thought, well, it reminded me of when I had this business. It was in a very iffy part of town, and it was so great because these women would come in to buy these brass beds, and they'd have money stuck down their bras, they'd have them in their shoes, they'd have, they paid cash. And they would come in, but we had cats. We had cats to keep the mice at bay, it was a factory. So I saw these women, literally big women, just in one leap get from the floor to the top of a mattress when our black cat would parade through. And it was just as if, he knew that, like, okay, I'm just going to walk through. And they were like, you got to get the cat out of here. So I've seen a lot of fears. Now, these are just very blatant ones, but we all have fears. Fears of what happens if we lose our house. What happens if we, don't like our job and we don't have something else to do? What happens? There's levels and layers of fear. But today, seeing this guy's like real fear of this, irrational fear of this coyote. Coyotes don't attack people. They don't. Little cats and dogs, you're in trouble. But people, no, they've got to be really rabid or something really wrong. So our fears are usually they do that to us. They close us down and don't let us see other options. And they're often very irrational. When you are afraid, there was a woman in our neighborhood who had a very, very successful jewelry business. She made jewelry, very high-end jewelry, sold to Neiman Marcus and some other places. 2008 hit, they didn't care about high-end jewelry. They were trying to save their own asses. And they all just booted her out of these stores. They didn't make any, more orders. So she was having trouble making her house payments. And her brother, said to her, look, let's sit down and, have a plan for how you're going to do this. Do you want to get somebody to live with you? Do you want to rent your house out? Do you want to? And she wouldn't have anything to do with anybody giving her any plan. She just stopped paying her payments on her house. And her brother said, look, you need to sell before they take it from you. And it got to a place where they took it. The bank took the house. She had no assets except that house. So our fears immobilize us and don't let us take positive actions into doing something that can mitigate these fears. And the reason I love the moon centers so much is that these 11 moon centers all have a positive, a challenged, which we can call the negative or fear state, and the neutral state. So how do you get from one to another? There's doorways, right? There's doorways through the food that you eat. There's doorways through how you're sleeping. There's doorways through our, meditations. There's doorways through breath. There's many doorways. But what I love about the moon centers is you have a very clear treasure map that's yours to get out of these fear states. So I'm just going to play with you with something today that can help you with fear, because we all have fear of something. Fear of not having enough love, money, support, food. There's different levels of it, okay? And sometimes we just get to stop and go, okay, what is this? And how can I get enough energy to see other options as opposed to being, immobilized by that which we perceive? Right? So one of the wonderful things you can do is just whistle breath. Just close your eyes and just whistle. Just inhale and exhale. Just try to really take it down into your navel and just and inhale. Press your tongue to the roof of your mouth and suck on your tongue. It can calm your nervous system. Keep sucking on it, keep holding your breath in, and now exhale. If you do that for 3 minutes, even if you can't make a whistling sound, just doing that O breath, you put your tongue behind your bottom teeth and just do the O breath. You will suck in a lot of air over your saliva. It will calm your parasympathetic nervous system down. And then afterwards, sit with and ask, what are the possibilities here? What are my options? Right? On the stock market, you have options. You can buy options for things that you think will go up, things that you can go down. Legalized gambling, yes, it is, but it's options. So you have options. And if you can get your fear state calmed down enough, you will be able to see the vast array of options that the divine is putting in front of you, because you have options. You do not have to be ruled by your fear. And that's what I love about the moon centers. It gives you this beautiful treasure map, and then it gives you ways to get from that challenged state into a state of much more grace and ease. And I can talk about that because I went down the road on this last trip of like, oh my God, there is no way that I am going to live here. You can't make me. And I just got to realize what moon centers were being challenged. And that was the way I got out of that fear, using those tools. Got a good toolkit? You use it all the time, it's there for you when you need it. So join me in the Moon Centers, find out what they're about, how they can serve you, and how they can serve those that you love and serve. Yes? Blessings.